I'm really smart, sir. I'd read all of Jane Austen by the time I was 12, including her lesser-known work, Lady Susan, which is a severely underrated piece of feminist literature.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 best TV monologues.
When it hit me, I thought, this is it. This is the feeling I've been searching for my entire life, for as long as I can remember.
For this list, we'll be looking at impressive speeches from fictional shows. Since some of these monologues reveal major plot points, a spoiler warning is now in effect. Do you have a favorite TV monologue? Let us know in the comments. Number 20, Twice as Good, Scandal.
I know more than you could possibly imagine about things of which you cannot dream.
We're used to seeing Ms. Pope taking charge. However, when her dad comes around, she usually sits back and listens. After he finds out about Olivia and Fitz's relationship, Papa Pope reminds her of a crucial lesson he taught her. During his blistering speech, he reminds her that she has to double her effort to reap just half of the rewards that a white person would get.
Twice.
What?
Twice as good.
Twice as good as them to get half of what they have.
This scene between father and daughter is so tense that Olivia retreats like a child being scolded by a parent. Joe Morton delivers a commanding monologue that leaves us feeling like we're in trouble.
No.
You've gotten yourself into a bit of trouble, Olivia, and I'm here to fix it.
No.
Number 19, Please Tell Me That's Changed in the Future, One Tree Hill.
We were just talking about the time capsule, about what we said.
Does it really matter? By the time they open that thing, we're gonna be old.
When students are asked to record videos for a time capsule project, most of them look back on memories, make shocking confessions, or talk about their problems.
So you're probably looking at this and making fun of my outfit, right?
But Brooke Davis does things her way. She talks about how hard it is to be a girl in both high school and in society in general. In Brooke's video, she calls out the double standard that girls face about their sexuality and appearance.
If you're fat, dumb, sexual, and a guy, you're okay. If you're a girl, not so much. Please tell me that's changed in the future.
She shares an honest hope that society will be different in the future, and that maybe people will have this whole romance thing figured out by then.
Somebody tell me you've got love figured out, because I got news for you. It's pretty darn messy right now. But I guess it's always been that way. Wanting to be loved. To find somebody that makes your heart ache in a good way. Feel understood.
Number 18, I'm Really Smart, Sex Education. Maeve is known for being an intelligent and feminist badass. She's also willing to be fiercely loyal to those who aren't there for her.
You're not in any trouble, I sorted it.
When Headmaster Groff threatens to call the police on her brother Sean for dealing drugs, Maeve protects her brother and takes the blame.
What are you doing?
I'm reporting your brother to the police.
Wait. They're mine.
She's given the chance to avoid expulsion by making a speech. She gives a very honest and blunt answer as to why she deserves to have an education and stay at the school. Backed by an incredible performance by actress Emma Mackey, this speech will have you rooting for Maeve more than before.
I'm really smart. I just got unlucky in the family department. I don't get any support, and sometimes I do the wrong thing. But I know I can be better.
Number 17, Eyeliner, Let's Do This. Sorry for your loss.
Thank you again. I should get going.
Sorry for Your Loss dives deep into how Lee Shaw mourns the death of her husband, Matt. While attending an event at the school he taught at, she retreats to the bathroom to cry it out.
Okay. Eyeliner, let's do this.
Lee uses her phone to record herself while addressing the longevity of her waterproof eyeliner. She also wonders out loud why she tries to hide her grief by putting on an external facade.
Why are we trying to be okay and normal on the outside when there is a nuclear holocaust happening on the inside.
Although there's a little humor in the conversation she's having with her eyeliner, her current emotional state makes the scene incredibly sad. Elizabeth Olsen knows how to find the balance of dark humor and raw emotion.
It's great for work, for weekend brunch, for date night, or for those days when a hole in the universe opens up where your husband used to be and you find yourself on the floor of a public restroom and it just doesn't come off no matter how much you cry.
Number 16, she will not be speaking for us. Orange is the new black.
She will not be speaking for us because Judy King can't speak for the inmates of this prison. She was kept separate from us, held in a private room with better treatment and a seltzer maker.
In the penultimate episode of season 4, Pusey Washington dies after being restrained by C.O. Bailey during a protest in the cafeteria. Tasha Tasty Jefferson's reaction to this heart-wrenching loss led to one of the most painful monologues in the series.
Pusey Washington. And I'm saying her name again because it can't ever be said enough.
When she addresses the press in season 5, she tells the full truth about the tragic death of one of her best friends. Tasty makes an impassioned plea for change in the prison system and calls out how impoverished people of color are treated. Danielle Brooks delivers this incredibly powerful monologue that is still relevant today.
Our fight is with a system that don't give a damn about poor people and brown people.
Number 15, not a single one of them were curious. Ted Lasso. Jason Sudeikis' comedy series has become one of the most quotable shows.
How do you take your tea?
Well, usually I take it right back to the counter because someone's made a horrible mistake. But...
Whether it's an inspirational speech or an unusual metaphor, Ted's always giving us something to recite. One of his best speeches came when he played a high-stakes game of darts. He's pitted against Rupert, Rebecca's arrogant ex and former AFC Richmond owner.
You know, Rupert, guys have underestimated me my entire life. And for years, I never understood why. It used to really bother me. But then one day, I was driving my little boy to school, and I saw this quote by Walt Whitman. It was painted on the wall there. It said, "Be curious, not judgmental."
Without missing a mark, Ted delivers a heartfelt monologue. He wears a huge smile while he quotes Walt Whitman and teaches Rupert a little lesson on underestimating people.
All them fellas that used to belittle me, not a single one of them were curious. You know, they thought they had everything all figured out, and so they judged everything, and they judged everyone.
Ted ultimately wins both the dart game and life.
Barbecue sauce.
Number 14, not Monica, me. Shameless. Fiona Gallagher has carried the weight of raising her siblings and her dad since she was just a kid. When she was 9, her mother Monica walked out on them.
He doesn't even know who you are! I'm his mother! You are my mother too!
Fiona has had to point out all that she does for her family on several occasions. But her most striking speech came when she heard her mom had passed. Fiona is unsurprisingly not that distraught over the dark news. But Frank still fights to convince his daughter how good of a person his ex-wife was.
You don't know anything about your mother.
She was never here.
She was a beautiful, crazy, fragile, wonderful woman.
She deserted us.
She loved us.
That was love?
However, Fiona reminds Frank that she's been taking care of everyone, including him, in one strong monologue.
I was 9! 9 and taking care of you. Taking care of all of us. I was in 4th grade.
Emmy Rossum's acting is definitely award-worthy in this emotional scene.
Not Monica. Me.
Number 13, you can't begin to imagine. Black Mirror. San Junipero is one of the most highly regarded episodes of Black Mirror. A major reason why it's beloved is because of Gugu Mbata Raw and Mackenzie Davis's incredible chemistry.
You're stupid.
Thank you.
In this episode, both Yorkie and Kelly meet in a simulated city that you can visit even after death. While the two are attracted to each other, they try to avoid developing feelings for different reasons. But things come to a head when Yorkie asks Kelly to stay with her forever.
You can't begin to imagine. You can't know. The bond, the commitment, the boredom, the yearning, the laughter, the love of it, the love you just cannot know.
Kelly explains why she's unwilling to in an emotional monologue about lost love. Even if you were rooting for this couple, this raw speech will make it clear why Kelly hesitates.
He said, how can I? When she missed out, how can I? And so we went.
Number 12, I lost myself for a long time. Grey's Anatomy. This monologue reminds us why Dr. Christina Yang has trouble letting people in.
I am trying to understand you. I am trying to know you. I am trying to love you, and I don't know how. I don't know how because you don't give me anything.
When Owen gets curious about Christina's ex-fiancé Burke, it's clear she doesn't want to talk about it. But after some pushing, she gives in and opens up to Owen. Christina tells him how she changed herself in her relationship with Burke.
He wanted me to be something I wasn't, and I made myself into what he wanted. One day I was me, Christina Yang, and then suddenly I was lying for him and jeopardizing my career.
We see how afraid she is to lose her sense of self and why the feelings she has for Owen scare her. Thanks to the brilliant Sandra Oh, Christina is incredibly relatable. Her amazing performance in this scene truly tugs at our heartstrings.
I lost myself for a long time, and now that I'm finally me again, I can't.
Number 11, The World Went Quiet. Euphoria. HBO's Euphoria follows teenager Rue Bennett as she struggles to overcome her issues with dependency to illegal substances.
But I could tell you one thing, this drug shit is not the answer.
But not long after she returns home from rehab, she immediately goes to her friend/dealer Fez to feed her bad habits. They eventually talk about why at a party. She explains to Fez that this is the best way to deal with the panic attacks she's had since she was a kid.
It was like there was no more air left in the world. And I was gasping and I was panicking. And they called the ambulance and they thought it was like an allergic reaction or something.
During this conversation, Rue describes depression and happiness in extremely poignant ways.
The world went quiet. And I felt safe in my own head.
Fortunately, this was just one of the first of many captivating monologues she'd given the series. Number 10, Love Persevering. WandaVision.
It is funny because of the grievous injury the man just suffered.
No, he's not really injured.
Ah. How can you be certain?
WandaVision is visually masterful, beautifully written, and wildly entertaining. It takes time to explore the weight of grief and what lengths we're willing to go through to overcome it. In Previously On, Wanda is forced to revisit a number of pivotal moments throughout her life. She eventually comes to a memory where she opens up to Vision about losing her brother, Pietro.
It's just like this wave washing over me again and again. It knocks me down, and when I try to stand up, it just comes for me again.
While Elizabeth Olsen is phenomenal in this scene, Paul Bettany stole the show with a monologue of his own. Vision breaks down the nature of grief and delivers what has become the most quoted line in the series.
I've never had a loved one to lose. But what is grief, if not love persevering?
This scene struck a chord with many fans and will likely be remembered for years to come. Number 9, I Feel Nothing. Killing Eve. Jodie Comer has proven herself to be an outstanding actress in both film and television.
Does anyone else have anything they want to say?
I would.
In her most notable role, she played a stylish and ruthless assassin named Villanelle. While she can definitely come off as cold and indifferent, she has her moments of intense emotion.
I didn't mind that you took me there. I didn't mind that you never came back for me.
While undercover for MI6, Villanelle attends an AA meeting as Billy. She eventually opens up about the unending boredom of not being able to feel anything. Neither Villanelle nor the audience is sure if she's really being honest here.
Most of the time, most days, I feel nothing. I don't feel anything.
Although we're left a little unsure about her motivations, this monologue about feeling nothing definitely makes us feel everything.
I'm just so bored.
Number 8. I was just this dark, empty black hole. The Haunting of Hill House.
It spread everywhere in me, this nothing, until I couldn't feel anything anymore. I was just this dark, empty black hole.
On The Haunting of Hill House, Theo has the unfortunate ability to feel other people's emotions just by touching them. This comes into play after she attends her sister Nell's funeral.
I couldn't feel anything, Shirley. After I touched her skin, I couldn't feel anything.
As Theo is arguing with her sister Shirley in the car, a ghostly apparition of her sister appears. After this incident, Theo breaks down and tells Shirley that she touched Nell's body and felt an overwhelming sense of nothingness. She explains that accidentally touching Shirley's husband Kevin brought her back.
He was a light in the darkness. He was a life preserver in the ocean.
Theo's monologue is exhausting, exhilarating, and emotional. This devastating scene never fails to make us cry.
I started feeling things again, and I felt shame, and I felt grief, and I felt scared.
Number 7. It's my story to tell. Barry. While aspiring actress Sally Reed is helping her friend Barry prepare for an audition, her frustration and anxiety boils over.
Scene 1. I just want to hear the words. I'm dying.
She lets all her feelings out at once in this one-take monologue. Sally goes from being angry to hilarious to apologetic, all in the same breath.
It's my story to tell, but then so many other women have the same story. What, am I a spokesperson for them now? Could I be the face of a movement? I mean, what if I get it wrong? I mean, I resent the fact that Nick can get up there and talk about his stomach condition, and it's not like he has to be the poster boy for bulimia.
Sarah Goldberg's nuance here is incredible. She somehow manages to be simultaneously unsure of herself and extremely confident in her words at once. After Sally's speech reaches a fever pitch, she finally confesses that she feels jealous of Barry for his career strides and tries to move on.
I am so jealous that you're reading for this. I have never had a director's session for a feature, which is the same thing as a movie, P.S. And I have been doing this for way longer.
Seeing her conflicting emotions all crash into each other at once leaves us speechless every time. Number 6. I'm exhausted. This Is Us. Randall tried to keep his personal struggles with racism to himself while growing up as the only black person in a white family.
We grew up in the same house. Things like this have been happening to black people for years, and we've never talked about it. Like, not once. Not once in 40 years.
He did it to avoid any awkward conversations or making his family members feel bad. However, when Kate tries to have a conversation about racism, Randall has to get real. Despite her good intentions, he has to honestly tell her how tired he is of putting the rest of his family's feelings before his own.
And normally I would hug you, and I would tell you that you did all the right things. I would try to make it all okay for you. But if I did that, Kate, if I made things better for you, then where does that leave me?
Sterling K. Brown portrays a quiet rage and overwhelming sadness from a place of deep pain.
I'm sorry, but I can't do that. That has been my pattern all my life, and honestly, Kate, it is exhausting. I'm exhausted.
Without even raising his voice, he manages to deliver an incredibly powerful statement on racial issues in America. Number 5. I Think You're Just Vindictive. The West Wing. Dolores Landingham was President Bartlett's loyal secretary and friend. Unfortunately, she loses her life to a drunk driver the night she goes to pick her car up. The president hangs back in the cathedral after Mrs. Landingham's funeral to talk to God alone.
You're a son of a bitch, you know that?
The devastated leader directs his anger above for his current and past losses.
What was Josh Lyman? A warning shot? That was my son. What did I ever do to yours but praise his glory and praise his name?
As he lists off some of the tragedies in his life in both English and Latin, his rage and frustration increases. The president's loss and pain is palpable in this scene. Out of the many exceptional monologues he delivered in the series, this grieving rant may be his best.
You can't conceive, nor can I, of the appalling strangeness of the mercy of God, says Graham Greene. I don't know whose ass he was kissing there, because I think you're just vindictive.
Number 4. It's called The Carousel. Mad Men. The critically acclaimed Mad Men series brought us one of the most intriguing characters in television history.
Technology is a glittering lure, but there's the rare occasion when the public can be engaged on a level beyond Flash.
While Don Draper isn't always the most emotionally expressive character, he can sometimes get incredibly sentimental. During a pitch for Eastman Kodak, Don discusses the joy and pain of nostalgia.
It's not called the wheel. It's called the carousel.
As he flips through slides of his family, he reminds his clients that they should treasure the time they have with loved ones because time will march on relentlessly.
Round and around, and back home again. To a place where we know we are loved.
His pitch is effective enough to bring people to tears. It's safe to say that this meeting went well. Number 3, Tell Me What to Do. Fleabag. Part of Phoebe Waller-Bridge's allure is her unapologetic authenticity.
I've stolen things. I've had a lot of sex outside marriage. And once or twice inside someone else's.
As creator and lead actress in Fleabag, every scene feels a bit like a confession. In the second and final season, Waller-Bridge hits us with the show's most raw and relatable monologue. She openly talks about her deepest sins and fears.
I want someone to tell me what to wear in the morning.
Okay, well, I think there are people who can...
No, I want someone to tell me what to wear every morning. I want someone to tell me what to eat, what to like.
Although we normally see her hide behind wit and jokes, she doesn't cover anything up here. She breaks down and admits she wants guidance because she's lost faith in her own decisions.
So just tell me what to do. Just tell me what to do, Father.
This intensely relatable speech made us feel like we were truly seeing her for the first time. Number 2, It's Not the Greatest Country in the World. The Newsroom. The Newsroom began with a now iconic speech.
Can you say why America is the greatest country in the world?
Atlantis cable news anchor Will McAvoy attends a panel at Northwestern University. When asked by a student if he can say why America is the greatest country in the world, he gives a controversial answer. It isn't anymore.
Not the greatest country in the world, Professor. That's my answer.
You're saying...
Yes.
Let's talk about...
Fine.
In an emotional and well-constructed rant, Will expertly uses statistics to back up his claim that America's status in the world isn't as high as people believed.
We're 7th in literacy, 27th in math, 22nd in science, 49th in life expectancy, 178th in infant mortality, 3rd in median household income, number 4 in labor force, and number 4 in exports. We lead the world in only 3 categories: number of incarcerated citizens per capita, number of adults who believe angels are real, and defense spending, where we spend more than the next 26 countries combined.
His hard-hitting monologue leaves the crowd, the pushy moderator, and us absolutely stunned. Jeff Daniels credits this particular monologue with saving his career, and we can see why. Its blend of nostalgia, anger, and earnestness makes it a must-watch.
Enough?
Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are some honorable mentions. We Were So Beautiful. Misfits. Nathan gives an impassioned rooftop speech about his generation.
If you could just see yourselves. It breaks my heart. You're wearing cardigans. We had it all. We f***ed up bigger and better than any generation that came before us. We were so beautiful!
Stand Here and Lose Her. Grey's Anatomy. Dr. Miranda Bailey confides in Richard after a personal tragedy.
And now she isn't. And I can't do anything but just stand here. Stand here and lose her.
I'm fine, it's fine. Jane the Virgin. She goes through all stages of grief in a 7-minute monologue.
He smells exactly like Michael. Exactly. But that isn't Michael. That is Jason, who doesn't like jokes and talks super slow and who can't look me in the eye. I'm fine. I'm fine. It's fine. It's just a lot.
Everybody wrote us off. Friday Night Lights. Coach Taylor's inspirational locker room speech really stuck with us.
40,000 people out there.
have also written us off. There are a few out there who do still believe in you. Few never give up on you. You go back out on the field, those are the people I want in your minds.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Let's finally guarantee its rights to all of our citizens. How to Get Away with Murder. Viola Davis gave us many iconic speeches while she played Annalise on How to Get Away with Murder.
Instead, I stand before you, mask off. They tell you the God's honest.
So we knew something special would happen when she took part in a Shonda Rhimes crossover. This significant episode sees her go to Scandal's Olivia Pope for help with a class action case.
As an arbiter of the law with whole knowledge of historical jurisprudence in this country, race must always be considered a variable.
You have precious time, Miss Keating. I suggest that you don't waste it by making arguments you've already made.
These are not my words, Justice Strickland. They're yours.
They both highlight how Black defendants are mistreated by the legal system. After Olivia helps get the case on the Supreme Court's docket, Annalise addresses the court with a towering speech about institutionalized racism.
Racism is built into the DNA of America. And as long as we turn a blind eye to the pain of those suffering under its oppression, we will never escape those origins.
She breaks down the varying amount of ways the justice system has historically failed Black people in America. In just a few minutes, Viola Davis delivers a powerful and unforgettable monologue that makes it clear that things need to change.
The Sixth Amendment was ratified in 1791. It's been 226 years since then. Let's finally guarantee its rights to all of our citizens.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.